My name is DeAndré Brown, but I am known in the world as Yummy. Yummy Reed is my alias, and it is the business name, so that's cute. I started dancing when I was very young. I actually, in elementary school, I think it was like third or fourth grade, I was going home and I walked through the cafeteria from wherever my class was to get to the front, and there was a contemporary group just dancing on stage, and I looked at them dancing and literally was like, I'm in love. Like this is who I am. This is what I want to do. I love dance. So sixth grade, I started dancing. I was dancing in church. Growing up, my family was very religious or spiritual. So I went to school, went to church, and went home almost every day until I started wanting to dance. I danced in church. My god sister, Tasha, she also danced in church, but she grabbed me and we did what we thought was hip hop and did it to some gospel sounds. And that's when I started to join the magnet program at Norland Middle in Miami and learned ballet, modern, and jazz to high school, all the way to college. And then I moved to Tampa. I went to college in Philly in 2012. I actually moved to Tampa after high school. That was in 2011. And then the year after, I went to Philly for college. And then I came back in 20 like 15, but I couldn't continue school, so I had to work to pay these bills. Then what happened after that? Oh, that's when I joined the ballroom scene. So I joined the ballroom scene in 2012. I joined the House of Ninja. I didn't start competing for real, until 2013. So I already had my ballet, modern, jazz, contemporary feels up in me already. And when I started learning how to vogue and the whole ballroom scene, which started in the late 60s, early 70s, ballroom started from pretty much the pageantry scene. So back in the days when pageants were happening, like truly, dresses and gowns for the girls and suit and ties for the boys, pearls, beads, and feathers. They were all in their fashions, like Las Vegas showgirls type look, maybe a little bit even more, you know. Categories like realness, that's like if I were to see you, I can't tell that you are queer or gay, or you have to pretty much blend in with a heteronormative society. Like, I would not be able to tell that you may be a trans woman or a trans man and you were born in another binary. So, realness was there. There was other categories like fashion or runway. But before those categories came black and brown trans women and drag queens and the girls who were never getting through in the regular pageants. They were like, you know what, we're gonna do our own thing. That's when it's set to be Crystal LaBeija is the first person to create a house, the House of LaBeija. And a house is pretty much your family, your crew, your group. When you compete at a ball, your house is competing against other houses. Unless the category may say no house affiliation. So me and my brother, if we're in the same house and we make it to the end together, we have to battle each other for that coin or the trophy. Who knows? Um, but yeah, Crystal, she came out there. She was like, you know what, whatever. Let's go ahead and do this. Ballroom came from that. So categories started coming in, like again, fashion, runway, which is what you see at a, let's say, a fashion show, but truly exaggerated. And they would write a category like, I don't know, I threw a ball called the Emerald City Ball. Me and my daughter Shatanya, we threw a ball in Orlando in 20, I don't know, 18, maybe 19, in Orlando. Emerald City Ball, and it was after the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz. So all of the categories were like or team performance. It was two people that had to be in the team to battle another two people, but they had to bring it as a character, one of the main four characters: Tin Man, Dorothy, Lion, and Scarecrow. And if one person was the Tin Man, then the other person had to be the Tin Man. They both had to be the same character. But there was Runway, that was you had to come as a crow from the Wiz. So these people, they come in like these crazy crow little outfits, I'm sorry. Categories like bizarre. So in the Wiz, they when Dorothy, Diana Ross, was underneath the Underground Railroad, like the pillars of the Underground Railroad. That's crazy. Underground, where the where the train was, the pillars that held the buildings together, they would turn into these creatures. The garbage can or this table would turn into like something. So bizarre, you had to pretty much be whatever that would be down there. If it was a table or a garbage can or the wall, you would create a bizarre monster or figure thing and come down the runway, and whatever's the most bizarre would be the winner. So you look at bizarre and be like, girl, what is that? Or you may look at it and be like, oh my god, what is that? Or like fascinated beyond this world. um, Vogue came down later on the line. Before Vogue was there, Vogue came in some say the early 2000s, let's say 2000. But before Vogue, it was just those categories: runway, fashion, realness. There were other categories like who's zooming who, that kind of like, who looks good together, if you will. But categories come and go, just depending on, generation and era. But voguing, when it first came, it started off as a category called pop, dip, and spin. Pop, dip, and spin is known as old way, so it's really like, your lines. Ah! It's really like, showing the hieroglyphs, but posing, breakdancing, um, throwing shade, very posy. So you'll always see a line somewhere. I don't know, whatever. It turned from that to like movements to come in. So you may see people uh, really taking their time, but posing. So old way is that. New way came after pop, dip, and spin slash old way. New way came after that, and new way. Think of old way with like contortionist. So somebody just did what I did, but in a straddle, and their neck is somewhere over here. I don't know, leg up and rolling it around. Yeah. So new way is that, but still holding those poses. So you could be, doing all of this while you standing up. Or I don't know, something. And then after new way was Vogue Femme. So there's three styles of voguing: old way, new way, Vogue Femme. Vogue Femme, it consists of like pretty much a few elements. Let's say six. There's hand performance, so really showing those hands. And you can use your hand performance and any element that you're doing. So these are elements of Vogue, or what creates Vogue. Hand performance. There's duck walk, which you may see all the time. So you got your duck walks. You have catwalks. So kitty cats. You have spins, which is literally you spinning, however you want to spin. Well, some people combine these two as one category. So it's actually spins and dips, which is, bam, what you see, how we get into that. And then if you have hair, some hair performance with the way you vogue, using that hair. I think that might be it. So catwalks, duck walks, hand performance, spins, dips, hair performance. Oh, and floor performance. So floor performance, you'll be on the floor, feeling nice, Ow. So that's kind of like seven, no shade. But those elements, combining them and putting them together, creates Vogue Femme. Now, when you know your elements, don't think of it like, okay, first I gotta do my hands, then I gotta do my catwalk, then I gotta do. No. Vogue Femme is just the art form of dancing. Dance it out. You know how to Vogue, you know how to move, move in your own way. So, yeah. And then we're in today's time where people can flip and spin and break dance into their vogue, which is lovely. Mix your styles up because that is your dance. And then after I left Ninja, the iconic House of Ninja. Shout out to my babies. I had went to the House of Prodigy, but I was there for a short term. It was about maybe 2 years. And then I went to where I'm at now, the House of Exclusive Lanvin. Love them down. And houses, for me personally, I feel like I love a house. And not saying that any of the houses that I was in previously didn't have it. Maybe they did, actually. No shade. But I love a house that have, structure. We are timely. We understand what we need to do and get it done. We also have moments to have our retreats, to have our own personal and build that relationship with each other. Because I feel like if you're in a house or a group of any kind, that personal relationship with yourselves, that intimate time is necessary. Because when it's time to get on the floor, like your backbone is with you, and that makes you want to give a little bit more. Like you desire it, you need to. And versus being on the floor with people that you like don't know, or maybe not trying to know, who knows, but that I feel like that does limit how you perform. But especially when you have that relationship with your family, that love, you feel it, it. But yeah, so from 2012 to 2019, let's say, was a Ninja. Prodigy from like 2021 till 3, and then Lanvin since last year. But yeah, I love them. They're so cool. Their mascot is the leopards. I feel it's kind of cute, like a little feline. Prodigy's was, I don't think they had a mascot. It might have just been the P emoji right now, and Ninja's was, of course, a ninja or a dojo. But yeah, I love them. Houses are cool. You don't have to be in a house. If you're not in a house, you're considered a 007. So like a free agent, James Bond. So that's for anybody. If you're not in the house, you're automatically up front a 007. And then when you are in the house, it's like a marriage. Your last name changes to that. So I was Yummy 007, and then I was Yummy Ninja. Yummy 007, Yummy Prodigy. Yummy 007, Yummy Lanvin. Or Yummy, the whole name is Exclusive Lanvin, but sometimes we don't have time saying that. But there are many, many, many houses. Just to name a few, let's Prodigy, Ninja, Lanvin, Milan, Bodega. Well, that's a Kiki house. Kiki houses are, I guess if you don't want to go to mainstream scene just yet, you're trying to like get your feet in the water. Kiki house is kind of for the youth or newer people that want to join ballroom. And I don't want to say like it is a junior varsity, but think of it as a junior varsity to varsity for Kiki scene. And then mainstream. Mainstream is cutthroat. Like, if you coming out here, honey, you better come out and do it right, or else, good luck. And Kiki is a lot more lenient. I feel like it's a lot more fun, but also you have a lot more young or youth. It could be people from the age 12, maybe younger, till like 25, 26. A lot of them would maybe stop. Maybe Kiki is okay for them. And some will go into mainstream, or some would just start in mainstream and stay there. You don't have to be in both, but yeah. Anyway, so there's House Bodega, House of Milan, like Italy. There's House of uh, Khan, House of West, House of Balenciaga, House of Miyake Muglia, Chow, House of Escada, House of Balmain. Yeah, it's a lot of houses, and a lot of the houses could be named after a fashion designer or some product, or I'd say for sure Ballroom definitely helped mold the artist I am today. Um, I didn't have much of a father figure growing up. My dad is there now, which I'm so grateful for. But, we had to work to get our relationship where it is now. But when I came into Ballroom, immediately I had, it was a club called Social. Now it's the Spook Easy, now in Ybor. But when I came into Ballroom, I actually went to that club. That was my first time at a club. And immediately, my brother or sister, to this day, it was probably the first person I met when I first moved to Tampa. They grabbed me and they was in the House of Ninja. They was like, they was like, you know how to Vogue? I was like, girl, no, I don't know anything about voguing. I seen it before. I probably could do a little something, but It's like, no, you're dancing. We know you know how to dance. And I'm like, I'm okay. Um, and they were like, we're not moving until you get up and dance. And I was like, girl, let me go ahead and dance, child. And I had battled one of my other friends, Fresco. I don't know what I did, but everybody was like, and my sister Karan, they were like, grab me, welcome to the House of Ninja. You're in the House of Ninja. I don't care what it says. I'm in the House of Ninja. We're putting you in the house. And I was like, okay, girl, wait, what? Like, I knew of Ballroom, and when I found out about Ballroom, um, it was from America's Best. Well, actually, I was doing the movements in this group that I was in growing up in high school, but I didn't know it was a whole community. So when I really did my research and found out about Ballroom, I looked at what's that documentary? Paris is Burning, which I think everybody should watch. That's like that's what should have been before Pose was like premiered. That should have played first, and then Pose should have came after. No shade. Paris is Burning. Get into it, but Paris is Burning. The house mother and father, the create founder of the House of Ninja, Willie Ninja, was on that documentary, and he was pretty much like the godfather or the master that people would say of Vogue. Like when you see Vogue, you see Willie. Madonna, I think he was on. I think he was in that music video actually. So, yeah, Willie was like, it. And I was always like, girl, I can't join the ninjas. The ninjas don't want me. I don't know. So when Karan gave, you're in the House of Ninja, I was like, wait a minute. Immediately, when I truly was entered into the House of Ninja, they have truly stepped up to be every type of role model that I can imagine. I still talk to my gay father, gay mother till this day. No matter what we've gone through, like, these people have helped me navigate life as a queer person in the queer world, and or in the ballroom world, and also just my regular everyday life. These people have helped me with anything that I needed, whether it came to my gift, my talent, whether it came to my personal health, whether it came to my finances, whether it came to just being a listening ear, whether it came to just like a home, whether it came to, I mean, really anything. They really are, or I feel they should be, what you would want or believe your mom or dad to give you, as far as that love or nourishment, nurturing, maybe even chastising you when necessary. But they really helped me travel. Like, we need you at this ball. This is how you get yourself out there. If you be local, if you want to do that, cool. But if you really want to grow, you got to get out there. I'm going to Ohio next month. You want to come? I already got your ticket. Don't worry about it. So that means when you're at this ball, you better win. And you travel along the way. But I had a partners with me to like, don't do this, do this, change this around, flip this upside down. I had people there to help guide me and direct me on maybe not well, not only what's right or wrong, but how to make it better, how to make it bigger, how to twist it. Um, but yeah, I'm sure houses do that. I know every house have maybe a group or certain persons that are drawn to each other a little bit more than others, just naturally. But you will always find a brother, a sister, an uncle, an aunt, a mother, a father, a godmother, a godfather. You would find somebody within a house. And I was stating earlier, like a lot of people, they don't have it. They don't have. They may have gotten kicked out of their home. They may have abandoned, or their parents may have abandoned them, or I don't know, just something crazy that nobody wants to happen with them. And this other group, this other family who don't know you from a can of paint, don't even care. I I need you. I want you. Let's do this. They're reaching out to like, I want to help you, and I'm gonna level you up. Let's go. We're gonna help you be the star that we see you to be, and even more. So I feel like that's what I've received from my house experiences. Even if maybe I wasn't crazy about the house itself, they should always be your backbone and truly support you. But you know, in pre-ballroom, my dance experience was either school, church, or like after school groups that I was in, and that was kind of like my house, if you will. But I was I was young. I was a child. I was under like 19, 18, 17 years old. So as an adult, getting into ballroom and learning a whole different world of human beings and being treated by others who are another type of creative, and just telling you and showing you that they're your family, it like helped definitely make me again be who I am today. Trust myself, be confident in myself, love myself first, always show up, be present. Um, don't be afraid to hold back, cuz why, be you all the time, be authentic. I don't know. And then in the mainstream scene, like again, you gotta do it if you're gonna come out and do your category. So it helped me like, okay, I literally have to be present. Just being in the ballroom scene, I have to like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I gotta show out. Like I have to do something. So, and just being confident that I can exude this character of just like greatness and someone else. I don't know. Some people call me Vivica, which is this other this ballroom persona, I guess. Because when I compete, I walk a category called drags performance. So I get in drags, I get in my girl, and vogue the house down a little light, and I'm a legend in my category. So I've worked very hard to get my status from 2013 until I got deemed this year in March in Houston at this big awards ball called the Southeast Awards Ball. Consists of all the states that are in the Southeast region. So Florida, Georgia, we've added Texas to it, Carolinas, Tennessee, Alabama, Virginia, all these places that have ballroom balls. All of the winners from these balls, they kind of are added up, and then we have like, okay, the person who won. It's kind of like our Grammy or Oscar. person who won the most, they get that of the year. So at the awards ball that happened in Houston, I didn't get any of the year because I didn't really compete last year that much. I was hosting a lot of events, but I was deemed a certified legend. So my name is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the stars. Yeah, pretty much, or it is. But houses are, I think, very important. Especially, I mean, everybody has their own, I guess, way of doing ballroom. Some people maybe don't really care about the family experience. Some people just want to be in a hot and popping house that they can, get their life and be the hot girl. Maybe it's for a little time or a long time, but there are some people that just want to be in there just for family. There's some people that probably want to be um, like help set up or carry bags or help with props or creating stuff for the house. Secretaries, houses can be ran like a business for sure. Um, there's things like house dues. Not every house have house dues. Some houses, a lot of houses do, which is every month you pay a certain amount, whatever they tell you. Usually it can run from $10 to 20 was the most that I've ever heard of. I don't know about anything after that, but a month. And then this money goes into at balls you have house tables, so your house can purchase a table, have somewhere comfy to sit. They have food and drinks, candy, maybe brochures or something else. But these tables cost maybe like 500 to $5,000, depending on the caliber of the event. So the money that you collect for dues, it just goes into okay. We already got a house table, so we don't have to worry about. Can everybody send $20 right now? Can you send $40, $50? It could go to maybe traveling. If the house is like we need everybody at this function, we got a Airbnb for those who are coming. It could go to we call our outfits or our costumes our effects. It could go to the effects. I don't know. House deals could be anything. Retreat. Um, I don't know. It could be anything. But houses are, I think, definitely a very important factor. Now, I have been throwing an event called The Breakdown, and I started that in October of 2020, 2021, 2020. The home is Southern Nights. Now Southern Nights is going to be called Disco Pony in Ybor. Um, so it is a monthly ball. It can be either a mainstream mini ball or a kiki ball. So I'll have both communities, if you will, to come and enjoy themselves. So I do that monthly or every other month. That's if I'm not traveling or teaching or competing somewhere. Um, I just had the last one like 2 weeks ago. It was the first weekend of this month, and also the Space Jam. So I'm in the all style scene. All style came from break dancers. So hip hop and break dancing is said to be the first like hip hop dance style. Um, so the break dancers had their own competitions, and people who were not breakers pretty much gave like we like this, let's get this format, we'll have our own competitions. So the all style people, so if you do any style of dance truly you can compete. So I had a jam called the Space Jam, which played off the movie. So the people that competed, if they wanted to compete, they had to wear a sports attire, whether a jersey for basketball, or they could dress up as a Looney Tune character. So I am very active, I think, in the all style scene. And ballroom that weekend, I did the Space Jam Saturday, and then the breakdown on Sunday. The breakdown was black and pink punk rock theme. So all the categories, whatever category you walk, create your outfit off of a punk rock look, but it had to be black and pink. So full creativity there. I think the only category that I wanted something for that I was excited for was Bazaar, and I wanted people to come as Patrick Star when he had on the thigh high boots and the fishnets. I needed that. If somebody came in the building as Patrick Star, like grand prize. But my next event probably will be in August. I know this Saturday I'm having, well, me and my organization, the Central Florida Ballroom Collective, we are hosting a open ballroom session. So people who are in ballroom or want to come to ballroom or just see ballroom what it is, everybody goes there, and you'll have people working on, if they vogue, they'll be voguing. You'll have people doing runway. You'll have people doing a category like sex siren, which is being sexy, or you win based off of, flirting with the judges or just showing them how you can be just put in this model magazine and have your wet hair and a nice little pearled outfit. I don't know, something, but just being sexy. So you'll have people working on just multiple categories, and eating, hanging out with each other, getting to know each other. Um, After that, I know there's a ball in Miami at the end of this month, but the next one that I'm doing is probably going to be, it'll probably be in August, maybe the third weekend of August. Not sure, but definitely in October. But I think I want to do another one in August. It will be a ball. It will more than likely be the first weekend or second after the Disco Pony opens. Um, and that's going to be hot. They're going to have like an upstairs, downstairs events. I also just really want to, I low key want to travel to California and get my dance on out there. I feel like it's the perfect place to catapult just my career, but I don't know, right now I'm a little scared with the world. So we'll see how that goes. But I really wish there were just a lot more resources for the arts here in this area in general, because I hate that we have to travel to kind of get what we want or need. But I was thinking about that. We'll see how that goes, but I definitely just want to continue putting out everything that I can for the dance community, at least here. I've been trying to network with just other politicians here in the Central Florida area, or just other nonprofit organizations that are queer or not even queer, just people that really support the arts and want to do something like some showcase or a gala or another competition. I love putting on events, so I'm always like, we dancing? Okay, cool. I think this will work. We got it at this time. Um, and I know I can make it happen. Also love just spreading out that joy and just making sure that people are having a good time and having a glimpse of just, oh, I've never seen this, or I've never been here, or I've never experienced this before. Like, what is this? Now I know what it is. I want more of it. Like, I want people like, oh, where is it happening? I'm fiending for the breakdown. I know there's a lot that's happening in Miami, but here in Tampa, the next one's going to be in September. I think it's the second or third weekend in September. It's going to be at this place called the Tiki Hut in Largo, and it's like a smoke shop that has this back room that turns into a whole like storefront. I don't know, something, but they usually have. It's hosted by, his name is Dillman. He's in the all style scene, and now he DJs, but he also pops and like waves and very like funk. I think he could do a little bit of locking, just a touch. But I know that's in September.